Have you ever heard of the river widow of the Danube? It's a chilling tale, one whispered by locals for generations, a story that blurs the line between folklore and grim reality. It all begins with a series of unsettling discoveries along the banks of the mighty Danube River. Archaeologists and amateur explorers have, over the years, unearthed human skeletons near the river's edge, sometimes in areas that haven't seen water for decades. The strange part? These skeletons often show telltale signs of drowning. The hyoid bone in the neck is fractured in a way consistent with asphyxiation by water, and the lungs, even in skeletal remains, show evidence of diatom algae, the kind you'd only find deep within the river. Yet there's no water damage to the surrounding soil, no sign of a flood or a shifting river course that could explain how these individuals drowned on what appears to be solid, dry land. This mystery is where the legend begins. Old stories speak of a spectral figure, a woman-shaped creature that emerges only when the Danube's water levels are at their lowest. They say she appears ethereal, almost made of mist and river fog, her form shimmering in the twilight. She walks the exposed, cracked riverbeds, areas that are usually submerged deep beneath the current. Fishermen and late-night travelers have reported seeing her from a distance, a lonely silhouette against the setting sun or rising moon. They call her the River Widow, forever searching for something she lost to the water. But this is no passive ghost. The legend warns that the River Widow is a predator. She doesn't chase or attack in the traditional sense. Instead, she calls out to lone wanderers. Imagine you're walking along the dry bank, enjoying the quiet of the evening. Suddenly you hear a voice, a soft, sorrowful whisper on the wind. It's a voice that sounds impossibly familiar, and it's calling your name. Not a generic cry for help, but your specific name spoken with an intimacy that sends a shiver down your spine. It sounds like a loved one, a friend you haven't seen in years, or maybe even the voice of someone you've lost. Curiosity, concern, or a deep, unexplainable pull draws you towards the sound. You see her then, a distant figure beckoning you to come closer? You leave the solid path and step onto the dry, cracked mud of the riverbed. The ground feels firm under your feet. It's just dried earth, right? You take another step, and another, your eyes fixed on the mysterious woman who seems to glide effortlessly over the terrain. She keeps a steady distance, always just a little further ahead, luring you deeper into the heart of the exposed river basin. Here's where the true horror of the legend unfolds. As you follow her, a strange transformation begins beneath your feet. The solid ground, which felt so firm just moments ago, starts to soften. It's a subtle change at first, like walking on wet sand, but with each step it gets worse. The cracked mud turns to thick, cloying sludge, and soon it feels as though you are wading through water. But there is no water. The air is dry, the ground ahead of you still looks solid, yet you're sinking. It's as if the riverbed itself has remembered its true nature, reverting to a liquid state only under your feet. Panic sets in. You try to turn back, but the suction is immense. The ground you just crossed, which was firm moments ago, is now a treacherous, invisible quagmire. The more you struggle, the faster you sink. It's a terrifying, paradoxical drowning. You're not in water, but you are being swallowed by the river itself, pulled down into the earth as if it were a bottomless pool. Your lungs fill not with water, but with a mixture of mud, silt, and supernatural dread. And all the while, the River Widow watches, her silent vigil unbroken, before she fades back into the mist, leaving you to become another one of the river's skeletal secrets. This legend serves as a powerful cautionary tale for those who live along the Danube. It's a reminder that the river is a living, breathing entity with a memory and a power that extends beyond its visible waters. The dry riverbed is not dead land. It's merely sleeping water. The story is told to children to keep them away from the dangerous, unpredictable mudflats that can form during low tides, which can be genuinely hazardous. But for others, the story is more than just a fable. It's an explanation for the unexplainable skeletons, a name for the chilling feeling of being watched when you reel alone by the water's edge. Modern science might offer explanations involving pockets of liquefied soil or unusual geological phenomena. They might theorize that flash floods could have occurred, leaving bodies in strange places. But these explanations never quite capture the chilling consistency of the discoveries or the personal, Intimate nature of the legend, the fact that she calls you by your name. How could a natural phenomenon know your name? How could it mimic the voice of someone you trust? That's the part that science can't explain away, the detail that keeps the legend alive in the hearts and minds of the people of the Danube. So, if you ever find yourself walking along the Danube during a dry spell and you see a lonely figure on the riverbed, or if you hear a familiar voice calling your name from the misty flats, remember the legend of the river widow. Don't let curiosity be your downfall. Stay on the solid ground, turn away from the beckoning mirage, and walk away. Because she is still waiting, patient as the tide itself, for her next companion to join the river's silent, skeletal collection. She waits for the day the water recedes so she can walk the dry earth once more, searching and calling for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into dark folklore, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. See you next time.